Well, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. Today, on the table in front of us, we have a new Tepe Designs Twosun. This, of course, is the 261, or as it's named, the Apex. This, I love this knife. Now, I'm a fan of the Shan Hassan Tepe Designs design aesthetic. You know, there's the burlwood here. This is a version of the Shockwave, which I also like very much, but this one's a little smaller. And then, of course, there's one of his designs, not through Twosun. This, of course, is the Hornet 2. I love his designs, but I have to tell you that until this landed, the Hornet 2 was my absolute favorite, and now it's a tie. It really is. Well, I mean, this is just gorgeous. But 261 here is, I'm going to use the word typical, but I want to be clear that is not a bad thing. This is a typical Twosun build, by which I mean the fit and finish are essentially flawless. They have taken Shan's design and brought it to life beautifully. Look at the blade on this thing. Now, this is S110V steel. I don't have that much S110V, so my experience with it is pretty limited. I will tell you that this came out of the box just hair-popping sharp. And all of my reading and my understanding of that S110V is that it's going to stay that way unless I do something really stupid. The action on that, hold on, listen to this. Right? It has the same sounds as knives that I own that cost 3 or 4 times as much. You know, look at these milled out spaces here along the apex. These are polished on the inside, almost mirror. It's so pretty. The clip is actually very well done. Lots of room here for taller pants. It is flexible enough to get in and out of really thick jeans. It's got enough spring to it, and it's tight enough that it doesn't move around. The overall feel and hand of this, I mean, the way that this handle is shaped, right? It just settles into the palm so comfortably. And the truth of the matter is that moving my thumb a little or not, you know, I don't really hammer. I tend to hold it at this angle. But this is about how I do about 90% of my cutting on things like cardboard and whatever. And, of course, there's this way for cuts through stuff back towards you. And this, if you look at the blade, it's actually just, it's rounded, it's curved a little, right? Now, I might have liked a little jimping here across the top, but I haven't had any problems. Like, it's, even though it's smooth, right? My thumb, when planted, when in this position, does not move around, and the knife is just locked in. It has a gorgeous sharpening choil. Let's be clear, this is not a finger choil. The blade curves back, right, towards the flipper here. If you put your finger up into this spot, you're going to poke yourself. Don't do that. It has a 3/4 length or a little over half length tie back spacer. Of course, this is all titanium, right? It is running on bearings. The milling beyond these spaces, hang on just a second, guys. Sorry, that was my dog. The handles are milled in lines that go this way. So there's grip, you know, you can hear it. Right. I just love this shape. Now, I loved it here, and I loved it on the titanium Shockwave as well. The way that sits into the palm is super comfortable. But as you can see, our new friend, the 261 here, is just a little bigger, and that makes all the difference in the world for somebody with hands my size. This is a full handful of knife, and along with that you get this just stellar blade. It is very pokey. Shan has made a knife that is really superb with this clip point here. If you're going to get into some sort of a I don't know, gas station argument, I'm just kidding. Look, I don't knife fight. I have no idea. What I'm saying is that this is an excellent blade shape, and so far in the time that I've had it, it has done literally everything that I have asked it to, and it has done it extremely well. Now, it's kind of a saber grind, right, with this large grind up here at the top coming into this clip point. The blade is really interesting, and I really like it. The swedge here is tall and comes to a nice point, but all of these edges are knocked down, right? Now, the hole. It's aesthetic. It really is. The detent on this is strong enough that I'm pretty good at, yeah, it's there for looks. You can, no, you can't. Yeah, the hole is there for looks. And that's okay. That's kind of his thing, right? So we accept that as an aesthetic touch. This is entirely a flipper, and the flipper itself is very nice. It's got a little bit of a rise to it at the back, so it's got a nice little edge right there where you can just grip it and flip it. I have not been able to fail this thing, no matter how, if I push button it, if I light switch it. Ooh, but it's got to be in the detent first. See? I've not been able to fail this in any way. The detent on this thing is tuned in really well for the weight of the blade and the size of the blade. But again, this hole here is aesthetic. You get his logo. Oops, let's get that on camera right there. You get, these are numbered. This one happens to be 79. You get the blade steel, and on this side you get the traditional Twosun logo. This is their standard pivot, which is fine. I would have preferred if they'd have done something a little fancier on such a beautiful knife, but we are where we are. I'm guessing these are at least T8 back here. As you can see, there's only one screw on this side, and of course a second screw that comes in from the back, which is very cool, by the way, for the pocket clipper. I haven't taken this apart yet. Let's do some standard size comparisons so you guys get an idea. I mean, I can show you knives that you've never held before all day long, but that's not really going to help. Here's the bug out. Just much larger than the bug out. And here's the Rat Model 1. A little smaller than the Rat 1, right? It's just about the same thickness through the handle, a little bit thicker than the Rat 1. So if you're comfortable carrying this for its dimensions, these are very similar in the pocket. I mean, they carry different because of the clips, but the amount of pocket space they take up is actually very, very similar. And let's put it up against one more just big knife just for fun. This is the Presidio 2. Right. So the Apex here, which by the way is a great name for a knife, is a good mid-size, mid-weight, we'll weigh it in a minute, carry, but it's got so much style. Now look, I'm not going to lie. I am a Shan Hassan and Tepe Designs fanboy. First, he's just one of the nicest people on the planet. He just is. And second, his particular knife design aesthetic works for my eye. Now, not all of his knives work for my hands. He does make a lot of sort of smaller knives. They're beautiful, but, you know, big old meat hooks, right? Every once in a while, he makes something really big, and I just fall for it. So what do you get? You know, I think that this on eBay, I think I got this one, and again, at this stage of my knife life, I think due to things that are going on in my life, I'm selling things to buy things, so I have to be really careful where I put my money to try to keep the channel going. My knife collection has changed more radically in the last 4 or 5 months. It's much smaller for a lot of reasons. And I'm selling things to buy things. So I had to move some stuff before I was willing to bid on this on eBay. And I ended up getting it for about $113. You know, the problem, of course, with selling older knives is that you never get quite what you put into them. So this was a couple of knives worth that I sold so that I could get, but it's totally worth it. I am 100% thrilled. And at $113, let's see, even $150, which you might end up paying on eBay, this is absolutely worth it. This is so much knife for that much money. The design, the materials is ridiculous. All right. So if we line the blade up, you get 1, 2, 3 1/4 inches of cutting on 3.5 inches of S110V which is very amazing. The grip area from just behind that flipper tab is 1, 2, 3, right at 4 inches, which is why it is such a marvelous carry for me. And it's got just a little knife sticking out the back. Really is a great size. The knife itself is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, just a hair shy of 8 inches overall. It is a really good EDC size knife. Now, and I love that action, one of my favorite things about it is its closed profile. It is relatively lean. We're coming in under, from edge to edge, 1.5 inches. We're right at just about 1.25 inches closed, not including the flipper. But even that, because of the way it is shaped, tends to stay out of the way of things in your pocket, which is really nice. Now, this can be a bit of a pocket pecker because it does stick out, but everything is knocked down. There are no sharp edges. So while it will be banging against things that are in your pocket, it's not going to be scratching them, which is a really nice touch. The jimping across the top gives it all of the grip that it needs, but this edge is smooth. These edges are smooth. It's really well done. This, of course, came from Twosun, just dead centered. It really is just a classic example of what Twosun does when they want to. I love the hardware, right? Large screw here, nice flat pivot, single screw side on this side, right? Hidden screw in the pocket clip. This is a fantastic... Every once in a while, a knife comes along that makes me go, ooh. Okay, a lot of knives come along that do that, but every once in a while, one comes along that makes me really sit up and take notice. And I have been watching this thing from sort of design all the way through production until it was released. This is one of those. Again, because I love everything about this knife, which is a wood version of the Shockwave, which you can still get, except the actual overall size. Now, this one's a little better because the burl version here is a liner lock, but the frame lock version is a little thinner, and so it just doesn't sit in my hand as well as I'd like. Women Carry Knives has one, and she loves it. It's a little small for me. This ramped up version, a little bigger, similar shape, makes me silly happy. So let's go ahead and take a look at what you get specs-wise. Or not. My calipers are dead. That's fine. Let's weigh it out. There we go. All right. The apex here comes in at 4.6 ounces, which is, I will admit, it's more than the ounce per inch that a lot of sort of EDC guys like. But look, these things are really well milled. I mean, Shan did everything he could in the design of this knife to take the weight out. And considering how much titanium there is through here, right, this width, he did a really good job. So it's 4.5 ounces for, a little over 3 and, where did we land here? 1, 2, 3. For 3 1/4 of cutting on 3.5 inches of blade is not bad. It is a white, it's a reasonably thin knife up here at the top. Because it's rounded, it does swell a little bit through the body. It's just a great handful. 4.5 ounces, not a big deal at all. So I guess that's about it. This is the 261 Apex by Twosun and Tepe Designs. It is my new favorite Tepe design knife. I am 100% in love with the design and the style. If you would like one, you can seek one on eBay. eBay has its own challenges, but I think this one's worth chasing if you're into it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about this or any of my knives, feel free to ask down in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.